everybody, this is AnimeCons TV feedback episode for July 2015. I'm Elizabeth, and each month we take one episode to share your comments and answer your questions. So let's start off with YouTube. I think I skipped one. No, I didn't. Just kidding. In response to our Jim Kapostas interview, has the first AMV been uploaded anywhere? Where can I find it? We don't know. Does anybody know where it is? If so, share it with us, and Jimmy will forward that information along to you. An email from Jake who writes, "Greetings. I've heard from many different sources that in the last 4 years, anime conventions as a whole have grown quite a bit. For most, they have increased by a few thousand attendees, while in some cases have almost doubled in size. But no one can seem to explain why there has been such a rapid increase in attendance. Is it due to anime getting more exposure from places like Hulu and Netflix? Another theory is other conventions like San Diego Comic-Con and Dragon Con have boosted the popularity of similar conventions. Or could the general improving economy have led more people to have more resources to attend conventions? Thank you for your time, Jake." Awesome. Thanks for the email, Jake. For me personally, I think it's just becoming more mainstream, and more people want to run their own conventions, and more people are getting into anime. For me, it seems like the explosion is more on the comic book side, with movies like the Marvel Universe and the DC TV shows doing well. I think more people are getting into it, and wanting to experience more and meet the people behind the comic books, meet the people behind the TV shows. I feel like those are getting bigger, and then by the same vein, anime is getting bigger as more people are getting into that as well. I know it's kind of weird seeing people who I've met through like college and work and things like that on Facebook saying that they're going to conventions. I'm like, wait, you're going where? What? So it is. I think it's really cool that more people are getting into it and joining us on these awesome convention things. And I think maybe the economy improving is helping because it takes a lot of money just to even start a convention, not just for people to attend. And I'm wondering if the success of events that have gone on have shown hotels and convention centers and other event expo areas that these can be profitable events for them as well. So they're more likely to want people to come and say, "Hey, I want to have all these nerds show up in costume. Is that cool?" And they're like, "Yeah." Whereas do some reading back in like the 80s and 90s, that wasn't really the case. So yeah, I kind of rambled a little bit on that, but I hope that kind of answers your question. I'd like to hear what other people have to say about that. So if you have comments to add about Jake, what Jake asked, let us hear it too. So another email from Jake. Awesome. I was looking at a few upcoming conventions on your site and noticed something interesting. It is not unusual to have multiple conventions occurring on the same weekend across the country, or multiple anime conventions to be in one state over the course of the year. Generally, this is to prevent overlapping competition. But I noticed two conventions in particular, Anime USA and NecoCon in Virginia, are only separated by 1 week. How did this happen, considering both conventions are over 15 years old and bring in a decent attendance? Has this happened before with other conventions? Do you think this will affect the potential attendance of both conventions? Honestly, when these events are being made, they're kind of at the will of the venues that they're working at. So it might have just been, in this instance, they happen to be one weekend after another. And that does happen sometimes. It's not like these events go to these venues and they have the pick of the lot to decide where they want events to be. And maybe they just plan the dates, and they did have a good choice, and they happen to be 1 week after another. It happens a lot sometimes. There was a weekend a couple years ago where Anime Boston and PAX East were the same weekend in Boston, and yes, I went to both, which was crazy. And it was also Easter weekend. So that was kind of unfortunate, and I know, at least from the PAX side, that was really their only weekend that they could go with. Everything else was even worse than that. I mean, you can't have an event like that, Boston Marathon weekend, because every single hotel is taken up for the few days prior to it and after. And then I think the other alternative was having it the same weekend as like another big gaming event, and that would be, awful. But it's not quite the same overlap. Video and gaming, there's a little bit, but that happened early on when people were planning dates for that. I know next year Katsucon and MagFest are 1 week apart in the same venue, and I know I'm stuck between, all right, which one do I go to for that? Um, I think it could affect the potential attendance of both conventions because within the course of 2 weekends, that's a lot of money to spend for, one person. If even if you're not going to a hotel, if you need to get your badge and you have spending money and things like that. So I think some people might have to choose between one or the other, which kind of sucks. But what are you gonna do? And I'm sure it's happened a lot, especially as things become more concentrated in the same weekend. I know last month, Pork on Main was in Maine. It's 2.5, 3 hours from Worcester, Massachusetts, but there was a first year comic book convention in Worcester, which is a very short drive from where I live, which was I was bummed I couldn't go because, PorcCon is a must go for me. So there's only so many weekends in the year, and with hundreds and hundreds of events, this is going to happen. And I rambled again, so I'm sorry. But thank you, Jake, for this email too. We really appreciate it. And if, this thing can move to my next bit, that would be awesome. We received an email from Jacob. Awesome. What about a behind the scenes episode? Like, what does it take from an idea from a fan to get a good video podcast on iTunes? We can do that. I think we did a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff when Patrick moved to California and we filmed like what our old studio looked like, and now we're all kind of like on our own. That might be something kind of fun to do while we're filming something to get some behind the scene things going of how low budget and simple this operation is. Um, just to give you a little idea of it, we do have like a forum. We use part of the forums where we talk about ideas and get things going and plan things out. It used to be more cohesive when we met at Patrick's place when he still lived here, but yeah, I think we could totally do that. That's an idea. Cool. We'll put it on the board. Awesome. Thank you, Jacob. Alright, so we received another email from James the Dark Kiba. Dear AnimeCons TV. Hello again, James the Dark Kiba here, and I just finished the latest episode on Artist Alley by Svetlana, and please thank her for this video as it was helpful, and a friend of mine really wants to portray his art in Artist Alley. So I'll definitely show it to him. Also, I really liked a rewind episode from June on the side-by-side questionnaire you did between Anime Next and Pork on Main. I love that one too. It's interesting, and I would like to suggest you guys do not one, but 2 con reports per episode, as this would cover more con news and fun. Perhaps you guys could do another Versus episode. Before I end, I would like to ask you guys what maid cafes have you all been to? I would like to go to one, and what would you recommend, and at what con? Thank you all. Till next time, this is James the Darkima signing off. Okay, we would love to do more con reports, but that means going 2 more cons, and that's something that, financially and time-wise is something that, sorry, yes, that's the Metroid item noise, that's something that we can't really, do full-time, is going to conventions and reporting on them as much as we would love to. There are probably more events that we can do more reports on. I know I've been going to more comic book stuff than anime things, so maybe we can do more reports of that. Versus, I think we should definitely do Versus again, and hopefully we can get that up before the end of the year. Maybe if we go to a certain event and it happens to work out, yeah, that would be really cool. We really like doing those, and they kind of fell by the wayside, but if you guys like them, we'll definitely do more. Maid cafes, I've never been to one. I don't know if any of the other staff have been to one. Maybe Doug has? I don't know, but if anyone has been to one that they would recommend, suggest it to us, and we'll forward that along to James, and maybe we'll check one out next time they're at a con that we're also at. Alright, next. We received a question from Mai on our site suggestion forum. Hi, how can I get my parents to understand that I want to go to an anime convention? Oh, jeez. Because I never went to one before, and some of my friends went to the conventions, and my parents won't let me go. So how can I get them to understand that? Well, this is always, a tough thing for us to explain because, well, we don't know your parents and what kind of conventions you're going to. But I would suggest to them letting you go to one that's close by your house, so you don't have to, close by your house is the day trips. You don't have to stay over anywhere. Go one day, go on a Saturday or, a Sunday if that's more convenient, or even a Friday. So just go one day. If it's more comfortable for them to be there in the area while you're there, suggest that to them. Maybe there's somewhere they can go nearby while you're at the convention. I mean, my mom still comes with me to PortCon because we go and do fun touristy stuff while we're not at the convention, but that started at because I didn't have any friends yet at conventions, even though I think I was like 25 at the time. I didn't want to go to PortCon by myself, so my mom came with me, and it's become a tradition ever since that she comes. And so, explain to them what goes on at anime conventions, that people go to dealers' rooms and people dress up and they meet up with their friends. And, sorry. and they're able to, see like what kind of experience it is. If you have more specific questions, like if they have specific questions and you don't know the answer to them, send them to us. We'll help you answer them and help provide what you need to start going to anime conventions. And if they still don't, and like I don't know how old you are, like if you're there'll still be anime conventions like years from now. So even if you can't go to ones right away, hopefully you'll be able to soon, because I feel like there'll be something that's always there. So if you can't go this year, maybe next year, maybe the year after, they'll always be there. But let us know if you have more specific questions. We'd like to, help you out and help your parents understand that these are fun, safe environments for people to go to, be who they are for a day or a weekend and meet new people who are similar to them and get to engross themselves in things that they really love and really enjoy. So we hope you're able to go to one. Again, let us know if they have specific questions that we can help answer and help put their mind at ease that this is something safe and enjoyable that you can do. All right. Ooh, we have lots of feedback. Oh, Movie Phone Guy. Awesome.
Hey there, AnimeCons. It's Movie Phone, and I'm here at PortCon, Maine. It's Thursday, 4:31 p.m. on Thursday, June 25th, and I know that because one of my tech staffers is setting up a projector, and it's pointed at the screen with Windows connected. We're excited, we're tired, and a little bit crazy, and I have one question for you. Do you want to go to PortCon?
Yes. Oh my God. So, first of all, you all should go to Portland, Maine, because it's a really awesome city to visit and go on vacation. You all should go in June when PortCon is, because it is like such a fun experience and is an amazing community of people. And I just really love that con. And yeah, it was awesome to see Movie Phone Guy and all those other awesome people. And it's a really fun, like low-key con. Like if you go like Anime Boston or Otakon, it's so crowded and so many people. I mean, there's a lot of people at PortCon, but it just feels like going to camp or something. Like it's really fun. All right, here we go. Next one.
Obvious voicemail.
Obvious voicemail. Alright, so I know Sketch did this recently with reading what Google Voice transcribes. It says, okay, thanks, which I think might have been going on in the background at the beginning. On to the rest of the last email. Hello. Thanks, Google Voice. You are not efficient. Alright, we have one more, and one more. This is 3.
Where's into this? I don't care what you did.
Okay, hey, it's Jessica. I'm at PortCon, Maine. I just had to leave a scene gate. The people are eating entire tubs of mayonnaise by the spoonful, and there's going to be so much vomit. And it doesn't really bother me all that much. I just have like mayonnaise, vomit, and sinus. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing good. This thing I was super hungover. But I'm much better. I gotta be really wise tonight and not drink as much, mind you, as much. So leave it open. Everyone be safe, be healthy, and that's it.
So Jekka hosts the masquerade for PortCon, does a lot of other awesome stuff, and she's awesome. And yeah, thank you for the voicemail, Jekka. That was interesting. All right, let me go back to my thing. Okay, notes. Okay, so now let's look at anime conventions that are coming up through September 2015 as found on AnimeCons.com. recently posted our video of the Fanime 2015 Masquerade, and it's 2 hours long. That's a long video. So after the intermission in the middle was cut and the time that's after the intermission in the middle was cut and the time spending waiting for the judges was cut. And we could have cut it a lot more by cutting out the text scripts and the host banner. Is this something you want, or do you prefer to watch it all unedited? We have a poll, and it's bit.ly/longcosplay, and it'll be right here. So go there and let us know what you think. Maybe you just want to see the skits, maybe you want to see the skits and awards, maybe you just want to see the whole thing because you have a long bus ride coming up and you just want to watch everything. Just let us know. And coming up on AnimeCons TV, it's all con reports all month, so maybe you are getting what you wanted. So Doug reports back from Otakon in Baltimore, where he went for the 5 millionth time. Okay, it was like 12th or 14th or 15th. I don't remember. We did post it on our Facebook page, so follow us on our Facebook, and you will see how much that number is. Because I forget, because I'm a bad friend. Patrick reports from Stan, Japan, and Texas, and Otakuthon in Montreal, which I wish I could go to, but Montreal's awesome. Doug already went to Otakon, so hopefully if you saw him, you said hello. Patrick will be a guest at both Stan, Japan, and Otakuthon, so if you're there, make sure you say hello or bonjour, I guess, if you're in Montreal. Montreal is lovely. If you've never been there, you should go, and maybe go to Otakuthon. Leave us a voicemail, 762-ADEQUATE, 762-233-7828. Please, someone other than Movie Phone Guy. Even though you love your Movie Phone Guy. Thank you, Jekka, for your voicemail. So you're stuck in line, just see something awesome happen, call us and let us know. And you can email us at podcast@animecons.tv. And then you can subscribe at iTunes and YouTube and watch us on our site. And then find us at Twitter, Facebook, G+, and Tumblr. And we would love to hear from you, and get ready for next month where it's all con reports, and we're super excited about that because those are our favorite things to do. So we get to hear from you, and until next time, bye.
Oh, okay. It's not dog poop. I thought there might have been dog poop down here. It's not dog poop.
So we recently filmed our video. No, we recently posted it. Let's try it again. So we recently posted a video of the AnimeCon. No, it's not sorry. We recently posted a video of the AnimeCon TV. Not TV. Oh my god.
I actually did a whole PorkCon Maine report at PorkCon Maine in costume. It was great. But I handed the camera to my niece and she stopped recording. And then she started recording when I was done with the report. I handed it back. And then I Thank you, Kira. Oops.